that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up, watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Hit him, 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 hit him. Listen, 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 hit him, listen. This Eagles talk, this talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's peep the squad. Big Pat shelling, Dante the dark job. Drop the stats on him, drop the facts on him. Spur came, baby, let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the DarkKnight, and welcome to Eagles Talk, upon further review where we go over last week's game. The Eagles took on the Dallas Cowboys. You know, we were already pregame, and as soon as we go on the show, he's not in the seat. All right, but anyway, I can't make this stuff up. Live, it's live. All right, as much as I try to rehearse. But anyway, we're going to recap the Eagles' first game of the season, which was a victory over the Dallas Cowturds, and I'm happy that it was a W. But we'll dig deeper into what happened, what we were pleased with, what we were not pleased with, and you guys can help us to break that down and analyze that by just commenting in the chat room, because you know this is the Eagles show that is by us Eagles fans for us Eagles fans. So we include you guys in the conversation. You guys are our co-hosts. So without further ado, let's get this first quarter on, let's get this first quarter on this way, because when you weren't here, Pat, I talked for about 10 minutes before I started the first quarter. So I'm remembering now. Let's get this first quarter on the way. So you are watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around, that is by us Eagles fans and for us Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, as you know, and that is the world champion Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So I am doing this week, I'm just doing an herbal tea. My wife brews this herbal tea, and I love it. She puts it in little bottles, and I'm going to be sipping on this. Pat, what are you partaking in?
Really, do we have to ask?
Yeah, do I have to ask?
Woodford Reserve.
Woodford Reserve has taken us all the way to a Super Bowl victory, so we don't change. If the flow and the mojo is right, we try to keep that going. So Pat has been drinking this all last season and into this season, and it has been working well because we won even our first game of the season. So without further ado, everyone join us. Raise your glass, and if you're an adult and you have a drink, then you have an adult drink. Okay, so here we go. Down the hatch. Oh, let me get the soundboard ready. I'm not even ready. Let me get the soundboard. All right, so down the hatch to our Philadelphia Eagles. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the first quarter.
All right, our Philadelphia Eagles won over the Dallas Cowboys 24-20 last Thursday, the first game of the season. And I was not disappointed in the aspect of our team won the game. And that's what you ultimately want. You want the dub, right? So we got the dub. I'm happy with that. We can go over some things that I wasn't happy with, and I'll just kick it off. I wasn't happy with that first half and our defense being sliced like Swiss cheese and allowing the Dallas Cowturds to score on every possession. There was no punts in the first half, and that is not what I expected coming out of preseason. I kind of knew that the defense was going to struggle somewhat, but there was like no resistance by the defense against that Dallas offense in the first half. And what I mean by that is that they just moved the ball at will and went up and down the field, and we didn't get pressure on Dak. We didn't bother him at all. He seemed very comfortable back there, as if he was home chilling in his family room on the couch. I mean, he had no worries in the world when they hiked the ball. He had no worries in the world. He was back there and he was patting them. And you know, when you can pat the ball more than 3 times, you know it's too long. If the quarterback is back there and he's patting the ball more than 3 times, you know it's too long. And some of that went on, too much of that went on in the first half for me. So I was not pleased with that first half of defense. Now, in the second half, Fangio did make some adjustments. We did not surrender any points in the second half. And so that was great. That was great. But you can see that there was some rust. You can see that there was some player deficiency also. You know, we're going to talk about Dory Jackson. I'm sure Pat's going to bring him up. But that's just my overall take, my initial take. Pat, what do you think?
Listen, your take is my take. The defense, and since let everybody know I was there. I saw up close and personal, and to see a Dory Jackson just wait on the receiver and not engage the receiver. It it reminded me of our failed cornerbacks of the past. The Bradley Fletcher, the Nani Askenwa, the terrible corners we had in the past that we thought were going to be good. The CeeDee Lamb makes a catch on the left side of the field. You wait for him to turn around instead of going through him to make a tackle. That grinded my gears for a long period of time. To see, like you said, DarkKnight, to see that we weren't getting any pressure. A lot of things that on TV is not shown. A lot of that was because of holding. I'm gonna be honest with you. There was a lot of holding going on that Dallas front five, the offensive line, that was not called. Tyler Guyton got fined this week because he socked one of our defensive ends. So they were playing nasty football, which is fine. This is football. This is what you want from you guys up front. But you want your refs to make those proper calls. But again, it goes back to that defense. I love the adjustment in Vic Fangio. If Vic we trust, he makes those adjustments properly, and they don't put up any more points after halftime. But that first half was a little shaky, DarkKnight. It was a little shaky.
Yeah, indeed. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. It was really shaky.
Indeed, it was in that first half. But the bright side, and I haven't talked about this side of the ball, was the fact that our offense was keeping pace with that Dallas offense. So as they scored, we matched them score for score, and that was the bright spot. And I wasn't sure how well the offense was going to play, being as, like I said in the pregame show, our offensive players didn't spend a lot of time together in the preseason. A lot of them, and it probably was by design to give them rest, and it kind of worked because those guys have been playing together for a few years now, so maybe they don't need as much training camp work as the younger people or those that are learning the system, and it seemed to have worked because a lot of them sat out multiple days in training camp. Devontae Smith was injured. AJ sat out because of a back issue. Quite a few offensive players did not play a lot in training camp, and they know their players because when they came out, the offense did keep pace with the Dallas Cowboys in that first half, and that was encouraging.
Yeah,
what wasn't encouraging, and I know he's not happy, was the fact that AJ Brown got targeted just one time in the game, and that was in the second half. I am not too concerned about that because of the coverage on AJ Brown. I know that we can't go a whole season playing like that, but I'm encouraged that if he's taken away, that we still have the potential to put up points.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm encouraged about. I'm not saying that it's something that we should practice every week. No, I'm not saying that. We should not do this every week. We should find a way to get AJ involved. But I am encouraged that when they do decide to take him out of the game, we have enough offensive power to still put up points. We've seen that in the Super Bowl. When they take away Saquon Barkley, we were able to go to the air. They took away AJ, and we were able to still produce through the air. It was a pedestrian 100 and something yard game through the air, but we was able to move the ball. Thank God for our special Super Bowl MVP quarterback, Jalen Hurts, that made a lot of things happen on offense for him.
Yeah, he was outstanding in this game. He was the they call him I call him the general. You know, he's the general that's leading the troops. All right, he's giving them directions. He's the one that makes this offense go. Without him, this offense doesn't do anything. Yes, they blanket covered AJ Brown. They dared us to beat them with other receivers, which we did. Dallas Goddard got 7 targets. Smitty, I think he got 5 passes or something like that. Shout out to Jahan Dotson. You know, a great deep ball by our quarterback and a great route. And Saquon, you know, only had 60 yards on the ground. But we took advantage of what we had to take advantage of. You knew they were coming out in that cover 6 type of defense to give you no area to throw the ball. So we just basically, you know, took advantage of what we could take advantage of. I love that he did not turn the ball over. He did take 1 sack, which he shouldn't have had to take a sack. But besides that, he did look ready for the season. I just think we need to add some more up into our offense, some more crossing routes, some more misdirections. It was after that first play where was a toss, was no more toss the rest of the game. That was open the whole game. I was waiting for that the rest of the game.
Mm. Well, I they kind of did bottle up Saquon. Saquon didn't have his usual outstanding game, and we kind of expect that this year after the outstanding year he had last year. They are going to be keen on him, so we can expect more of that actually as the season goes on. Until we prove that we can, kill him in other ways, which we do. We do. We have done it, and we'll hopefully continue to do that. And if we do, I see that we'll be successful. Now, I'm not going to move on to Kansas City yet because I still wanted to break down what we saw in that game. Some encouraging things, although the first half I was discouraged by the defense. There were a couple of players there that gave me some encouragement. One, Jahad Campbell.
Oh yes,
he's a baller. He's a baller.
Fast.
He is fast, and he is a baller. As a matter of fact, no. Let me keep the spotlight on him for just a little while longer. But he is a baller. I said this before the game, and when we talked about this right before we came on the air. And Vic Fangio, we trust. We trust Vic to get that defense right. Pat just pointed out the adjustments that he made at halftime. We gave up 20 points in the first half. We gave up 0 points in the second half. I love that about Vic. He is so intelligent when it comes to defense and seeing what is happening, understanding where the gaps are, and then correcting them at halftime and making the necessary adjustments. Another thing that I like about Vic and why we trust is that he's going to put the best players on the field. Yes. He is not going to be worried about politics, salary politics, or draft politics because this player was drafted in the second round. He got to play over this player that was drafted in the 7th round, or because this free agent makes 16 million and this guy just came off the street. He doesn't care about any of that. He's going to put the best player on the field regardless. So if you have a $15 million contract and the guy who was just bagging groceries comes to this team and outperforms you, guess where you'll be? You'll be on the bench, and Vic will play the guy who is playing the best. With that being said,
absolutely,
he last year played 2 rookies, our cornerbacks, DeJean and Mitchell, and they were ready. So I trust his judgment. This year, he started another rookie, Jahad Campbell, and he performed. So Vic, to me, has the Midas touch when it comes to evaluating talent and knowing when someone is ready, when they're special, and actually picking those players out, because you better know that Vic had a heavy hand in them choosing Jahad in the first round. That's something that we haven't done since 1979, I believe, if that's the case. So it was probably Vic's idea to draft Jahad Campbell, and he has a big influence on the coaching staff, on the team to make that happen. And I'm glad that it has happened. You tell me, what are your thoughts about Jahad and his performance on last Thursday?
Oh, Jahad was outstanding. I mean, the stat line doesn't speak what he did with that defense. He only had 3 tackles, but that pass defense, it was listen. He was in the Tampa too. He had to get on his high horses because that tight end zoomed past Zach Bond and was wide open, but he filled in his gap perfectly. And with his speed, his play speed, his length, his ability to get to the spot and make the play was outstanding. That was a dynamic play right there. That was a dynamic play. He is a dynamic player. He's a rookie. He's going to make his mistakes, but make him at full speed. And we can overcome most of it. But I know Jahad Campbell was impressive, but I gotta go back to another first round draft pick that we kind of wrote off. Jordan Davis.
Oh yeah. Good
Jordan
point.
Davis getting pass rush, getting after the quarterback, getting after in the run game. It's a different Jordan Davis. He was able to play almost the majority of the snaps at defensive tackle. That's a testament to him taking this year seriously and working on his health to be better, to be fit, to be in shape. They give it all, just like Jalen Carter would have gave you every single play last year, right? Jordan Davis want to be in that same breath. You don't have Milton Davis. You don't have the guys that rotated in there. You got some new guys that's unexperienced, but again, Jordan Davis was a first round draft pick, and a lot of people thought he was going to be a bust. This game, he straight up dominated. He dominated DarkKnight.
Yes, he
I'm
did.
very impressed with what Jordan Davis has going on, and I hope he can stay healthy and keep going in that same direction all year.
Yes. I'm glad that you brought him up because he did. He had a wonderful game. We saw renewed energy out of Jordan Davis, and I just hope that he can be consistent with that because I just imagine these two together on last Thursday, what that would have looked like. Imagine Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis playing the way he played Thursday. It would have been a different ball game. And I hope that
3 solo, 1 tackle for loss.
Yes.
Then you add Jalen Carter in with that.
Oh my goodness! So I can't wait to see them both on the field together this week because that was very, very encouraging seeing him play up because I think that he's not been a bust, but he's been a little bit of a disappointment in my eyes. This is the Jordan Davis that we saw last Thursday was the Jordan Davis I thought we were going to see when we drafted him.
Yeah.
It was the Jordan Davis I pictured when he was highly touted and we took him in the first round. That's the Jordan Davis that I saw last Thursday. I've been waiting to see that. Now I just need to see it on a consistent basis. But like you pointed to, he seems to have committed himself to come into camp in the best shape of his pro career, and it showed in the way he played and the stamina that he had because he played. This is probably the most snaps he's taken since he's been with us. He's not been conditioned to play those many snaps, but yet in the first game of the season, he played a lot of snaps and he played out of his mind. So I can't wait to see him on the field with Jalen Carter. I can't.
Yeah. I think it was 53 snaps, if I'm not mistaken, that he took out of like 60.
Out of 60 or something like that. Yeah, so that was incredible.
And he played well, but somebody else that played well that lived up to the billing as being a good player that we drafted high. Tyler Steen, filling in for.
Hold that thought. We're gonna stop this quarter. Hold that thought.
Gotcha.
We'll get on Tyler Steen. So this is the end of the first quarter,
and that's the end of the quarter.
So you guys are watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook. That's by us Eagles fans for us Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about the Eagles, our favorite football team, and we do so in such a relaxed manner, such a comfortable manner, such a, we're like family. We're like in the barbershop. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. And if you're adult and you have a beverage, that's an adult beverage. So join us as we take a shot to our Philadelphia Eagles and continue this conversation. So down the hatch, let me know what you're drinking out there too. Down the hatch, 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
All right, so continue your praise for Tyler Dean. I mean Steen. I'm sorry.
So Tyler Steen was a first round draft pick that we thought would be the heir apparent to whoever's playing that left to our center, right? When Kelsey retired, we moved our left guard now, who's a center. I can't remember his name right now. I'm drawing a blank.
Jurgens.
We do Cam Jurgens. Move Cam Jurgens over to center. He was playing left guard. Remember, he's playing left guard because Kelsey was still here. So we moved Cam Jurgens over from left guard over to center. And when the thing was that Tyler Steen was supposed to be drafted to come in and play that position, but he was getting dominated. So therefore, they brought in a free agent, Mekhi Becton, last year. Mekhi Becton stepped in, and the rest is history. He basically got outplayed. Now, this first game, he played lights out. Like it's some things you can't see on TV that you can see in person, right? And one of those things is my face. But anyway, the crazy thing about it is like he was dominating the line of scrimmage. That touchdown run for Saquon, not only was he able to pick up his defensive lineman, he was able to go up and seal off the linebacker. And it was another play where though he doubled with Cam Jurgens in release and got his defensive tackle that was coming up field. Like, this is stuff that, yes, it's taught, but after a while, if you don't have that skill to be the best player you are, it's not going to work. And shout out to Stoutland University for making him a very, very good left tackle for our Philadelphia Eagles moving forward. Right tackle, I'm sorry.
Oh, right tackle? You talking about right guard?
Yeah, right guard.
Okay, all right. Enough shots for you. I'm only
Wood from reserve already.
I'm Wood from reserve. All right, but no, that is the case. Tyler Steen, first round draft pick, right? No,
yes.
Was first round draft pick a couple years ago. Got outplayed by Becton. Becton came in, was a massive guard, and helped propel us to a Super Bowl. Help Saquon Barkley have the best year of his career and set the all-time single season rushing record for our Philadelphia Eagles. But now Tyler Steen is ready, and Tyler Steen did not disappoint in training camp. He won that job outright. There was not any days where he did not play with the first team. So he came in determined also. And I love that. I love that spirit about this team. We just talked about Jordan Davis. Now we're talking about Tyler Steen. So they're not taking any time off. You know what I mean? Like, they're not relaxing. They're not, you don't see the fat laziness of the Super Bowl hangover on this team thus far. You know what I mean? You see people coming in and being determined, and I'm encouraged to see that. I really am. Tyler Steen played outstanding as well.
And
getting back to the defensive side of the ball, though.
I had to correct myself real quick. He was a third round draft pick. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, third round draft pick. Still high draft pick, and we still hit on him. So, kudos again to Stoutland University. Kudos to Tyler Steen for putting in the work. And we have another above average offensive lineman, I would say now. So, that's a part of our success, is being able to shore up those players in the trenches, and he's one of them. And our offense and defensive line seems to be in good shape so far. I mean, it's very, very early in the season. We'll find out as the season goes on. But I wanted to go back to the other side of the ball and talk about that unit as a whole, meaning the linebackers, because Zach Bond is still Zach Bond. He's still that guy that we saw last year. He's not a flash in a pan here. He's still that same player that was a contender for Defensive Player of the Year. He's still that guy. So you now pair him with a Jahad Campbell, and I would venture to say before this season is over, we might have the best linebacker group in the league, if not even today. You know what I mean? That's how impressive these guys were, and that's a testament to our team changing their philosophy, being willing to be flexible, because like I said before, we have not drafted a linebacker in the first round since 1979. So they did that this year. They actually put some stock into the linebacker position, and it seems to be paying dividends early in this season. I've seen them do that in the secondary. These are spots. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we haven't had good linebackers, because each time we won the Super Bowl, we've had outstanding linebacker play. Outstanding linebacker play in 17 and in last year. We had outstanding linebacker play. So that bodes well for us to have a outstanding unit now, because it's almost like we got two Zach Bonds out there now. Like
Yeah.
it's a problem. It's going to be a problem. And if they ever move him and teach him pass rushing skills, it's going to be a real problem. So
Listen, Dark
I'm
Knight,
encouraged.
that play in the third quarter when our former Eagle Miles Sanders broke it for 49 yards. That's normally, if that's Saquon Barkley, that's a touchdown. My man Zach Bond got on his high horse and ran him down. Not only did he run him down, he put him in a position where as though the following play when he got to run, right? Jahad Campbell make a tackle on Miles Sanders and fumbles the ball over. That's when the thunder hit, though. When Q picked up the ball and started running, the thunder hit right after that.
Yeah. That's when we had this.
That's what Nick said. That's a 7-point play, because you literally change the field on them.
Yep.
You literally changed the field on them. And from that play, that defense didn't give up anything other than that. I mean, the CD Lamb had a lot of drops, aka CD Butterfingers. There was a lot of holding on Nolan Smith coming around that. He was coming around that edge, Dark Knight, and it was a lot of holding. But the changes, like you said, that Vic Fangio's made in that second half, and Zach being an All Pro, he's going to be another All Pro this year. If he played like he played last week, this week, throughout the whole rest of the season, he's going to be another All Pro.
Man, let me tell you what was impressive about. He looked like a superhero. I'm not kidding, right? The vision I got was that he was so fast. He was running beside Miles Sanders, trying to knock the ball out. Like,
Yes,
you know what I mean? Like if somebody's that fast, you are just concerned with catching up and making the tackle. He was so fast that he had enough time to swipe at the ball before he said, all right, let me just take this guy down. It was like, you know what I mean? Like, that was incredible to me. Like, most linebackers are happy just to catch up to him. He wasn't happy to catch up to him. He said, all right, let me run a couple strides with him and see if I can take the ball away. And then he said, all right, let me just take him down. That was very impressive to me. That was almost superheroish to me. But yes, he has not lost a step. It doesn't seem as if last year was a fluke. He is still that same dynamic linebacker that we have, a diamond in the rough that we plucked from the New Orleans Saints. I don't know how they didn't. Thank you, New Orleans. Thank you. We are also, dumpster divers. I guess we're dumpster divers. We took the rubbish that the Giants didn't want. They threw the Saquon out. We took that, the Saints discarding linebackers. We took that and we put together a pretty good squad. So we have some talent on the team. Our roster is still one of the most talented in the league. I know that we can't have a repeat performance against most of the teams like we had this year, but I am encouraged. I mean, like we had against Dallas Cowboys, but I am encouraged that Vic again made the necessary adjustments. But it's been too long. I've been going too long without including our co-host into the show, and I apologize. That's you guys in the chat room. So let me go to the chat room right now and get you guys in the conversation. So the first person in the chat room tonight was Jeremiah. Jeremiah says, what's up, fam? The second one in the room, Richard Layton. Richard, did I see you have a birthday within the last 30 days, if I'm not mistaken? Let me know if I'm right about that. Adrian is in the house. Says, what's good, fam? What's good? Richard, what is this? Richard is drinking the Crown Royal and Ultralight. That's not his thing, right? He's the vodka drinker, right? Am I not
Hey, he
mistaken?
switched it up. He went to Rain
You
Vodka.
got Brown. I mean, you did. You was vodka guy. What's this? Crown Royal? Oh my goodness. What's wrong? How old are you? I just saw you had a birthday. Are you going through a midlife crisis? Let me know right now. Are you going through a midlife crisis? How do you change from your vodka to the Crown Royal? I need an explanation. Okay. Kevin Johnson is joining us. He says DMV Eagles Nation in the building.
Yes, sir.
That's what's up. Where you at? DMV? Are you in Delaware, Maryland, or Virginia? Which one of the letters are you in? Adrian also says the number 8 wasn't representative like CJ.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no.
We're gonna
Yeah,
move on from that.
Dory Jackson needs to snatch that off. Why is my alert delayed? What do you mean? They didn't alert you on in a timely fashion, Rachel?
Nah.
That's we got to do something about that. So let me come down. Let me come down to some current. Oh, Dion has joined us. Bond ran around the car and jumped in while it was moving. Yes, that's what it was like. That's a great analogy, Dion. That was a great analogy. Veronica's joined us. Fly, Eagles, fly. What's up, Veronica? I don't get on Facebook alerts, so I signed up to YouTube. That's how I know they are on. Oh, okay. See, that's what you need to do. Thank you for doing that. We need our YouTube followers up. So if that's how you get your alerts, go to YouTube. Watch us on YouTube. Thanks for the summons, Jeremiah. I thought these cats were not broadcasting. No, it's the season now, Dion. We're not doing that. We took the off season off, but we're back. And I am. Let me just take a moment right here and just say, I'm so happy football's back. I am really. You don't understand. It was so lonely without football, man. I am so happy. And this Sunday, and to start it off the way that we started off, because it's like we work on Sunday. We do the show. It's like we work. I mean, it's a fun job. It doesn't seem like work, but it's work, right? So we have to do the show. So we had the pleasure of, at least I did. I had the pleasure of doing the show on Thursday, and then the first Sunday of the season, I could just watch football. I didn't have to worry about getting on the air. I didn't have to worry about any of that. I could watch football, and there were some great games on Sunday. So I enjoyed that first week of football. It's going to be a little different this week. We have to face the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's going to be a challenge, and but I'm not scared of it. So before I go any further, because there was a question in the chat room that I wanted Pat to address, we'll do that right after we start in this quarter. So this is the end of the quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right. So you are listening to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by us. Us meaning us Eagles fans, and us meaning you too. It's all of us. You in the chat room, Pat, myself, it's us. By us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team. Who are they? They're the Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. And we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So, I don't drink anymore, but I do have this is good. This is a herbal tea that my wife makes out of tea bags. It's a tonic or whatever, but I enjoy it. And Pat is doing the Woodford Reserve. I saw what some of you guys are doing. If you haven't, let me know what you're doing. Let me know what you're doing in the chat room. So let's take a shot in honor of our Philadelphia Eagles. So everyone, raise your glasses and down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter.
All right, Pat. Where's that comment? There was a comment. Oh, what do you think? Oh, look, that's not the comment. Wait a minute. But I know what it says. I'm going to put it on the board.
Okay.
I'm late. Daphne, you late? Jones, you're late. Look, I'm like a teacher. Daphne, you're late. You stand in the back. You stand in the back until we tell you to take your seat. All right. Where's that at? Because I do want to talk about him. Don, somebody's doing Don. Happy Thursday, Don, Daniel Berry.
Where's it, Rachel?
Oh, here we go. So, what are your thoughts on the host team? I'll let you go first.
My thoughts are still out. The offense was such vanilla. There was no splash play except for the one deep pass of Jahan Dotson. Was nothing else. No risks being taken by our quarterback. He didn't put the ball in harm's way, not one single time. I th- I think I think since Jalen has a grasp on what the offensive concept is, he more or less takes a feedback from the offensive coordinators and makes adjustments on the fly to those particular plays. So they play in concert with each other. So right now it's incomplete for him for Pachulo right now because yes, we won a game. We scored 24 points. We left some points up there. We could have did some other things. Um, I don't understand why we're running in the middle when we had them beat on the outside or not running enough crossing routes or deep crossers. Um, but that's for adjustments. That's for game adjustments. You see what you see. If you go back and look at the tape, Dallas didn't really necessarily blitz a lot. But they did play a cover six. If y'all play Madden, that's when they dropped down there everybody back into passing lanes, not into different zones. It's called they drop them back into passing lanes, and that's what AJ Brown was talking about him being bracketed. It wasn't nothing about him being stopped by one corner or anything like that. It's like they had a three cone around AJ Brown at all given time, and when that happens, you have a time clock in your head as a quarterback. So right now, I have an incomplete for our offensive coordinator. I he has to show me something this week. He has to show me something this week.
You make some great points. I guess I was okay. I was okay with them, and only because I'm looking at the points. I didn't, I haven't dissected the play calling. I just know that Jalen made it work. Like, you know what I'm saying? He made it look better, because a lot of it was improvise, what's the word?
Improvising.
Improvising. I'm sorry, improvising
As that T
on his
gets to you.
part, and he created some opportunities that weren't there. I did like Jalen's patience, and I like the fact that he didn't put the ball in harm's way. He still subscribes to that not turning the ball over, which kind of turned our season around last year. Because if you remember, first 4 games, he kind of picked up where he left off the previous year, where he was a turnover machine. And after that 4th game and that bye, he cut down all the turnovers. So he's still in that mode. I'm okay with that, even though it may prevent someone like AJ Brown from having opportunities to make plays. I think that it's worth not turning the ball over, because as we learned on last Thursday, the key to that game was turnover. It was. There was only one turnover in the game, and we got it, and we won the game. And imagine had we lost that turnover battle, what the outcome might have meant. So I know that it's high priority. I do want to see the offense, get AJ Brown more involved. But it's a chess game. You have to take what they give you, and that's just it. And Jalen did that, and he didn't get too ahead of himself. But I like this comment by Rachel, who says, hey, he took what the defense gave him. I think Saquon is picking his spots and easing into the season.
Yes.
But this last one I definitely agree with. Jalen Carter will cure what ails our secondary. And I kind of believe that, in the sense that we all know that the coverage, secondary coverage, and the pass rush are married. They're married.
Hold on, Dark Knight. Hold on, Dark Knight.
They are married.
Wait a minute, Dark Knight.
You can't ask. Now, let me finish. You can't ask a person of Adoree Jackson's caliber to stick a CD Lamb for more than 4 seconds. And that's what he was getting with no pass rush out there. You know what I mean? So it does make sense. The way Jordan Davis was playing, had he had his running mate beside him applying that same pressure, I think that it would have been a different outcome. I didn't like the fact that, well, I do understand it to a certain extent, because we've seen it with Jim Johnson, where he would play the number 1 cornerback against the number 2 wide receiver, and then he would play the number 2 cornerback against the opposing number 1 receiver, but give him help over the top, right? So he would use 2 people to help stop the number 1 receiver. I didn't see Adoree Jackson getting a lot of help. He was just out there on the island.
He was shish kebabs.
Yeah.
Listen, I hear what you're talking about. He was shish kebabs. All right, he had me on the field transforming. This is me. I was ready to get on the field, Dark Knight. I was ready to get on the field.
Pat does look ready.
I was ready to get on the field. But in all seriousness, though, like, oh yeah, shout out to Mike Jordan was behind me too. I don't know if y'all saw that, but Mike Jordan was right behind me in his suite. But Adoree Jackson, they have to have a closer coverage to receivers. I listen. I understand you got your pass rush helps everything out, and it does.
Shut up,
But
Dina.
but when you
I know how to spell it. I couldn't say it. I know how to spell it.
But when you're 9 yards off a receiver, you automatically give him a hitch. That's automatic.
Yeah.
Where you're not quick to make to close in on a receiver like Slay was, you automatically give him 5-6 yards. And one thing Slay did say last year about our rookies, he said these are your money makers, right?
Right.
These are your money makers. What Coach said once, way back in the day, that cornerbacks are nothing but wide receivers that can't catch. But the cornerbacks that can catch are the ones that's making this bread. All right.
Right.
So it was an interception in Q's hands. He dropped it. You gotta get better at that. That's 2 turnovers right there. I know you picked the fumble up, but you gotta get better at that. Adoree, I just need him. If we're gonna play with what you just said, like Jim Johnson used to do, have our number 1 on their number 2, have our number 2 on their number 1, or help. Let's move him up. Let's give him a jam. Let's get him in close proximity of the receiver, whereas though you're making that wide receiver work. When you play 9 yards off the wide receiver, you're not making him work.
Or if you're not going to do that, then put the number 1 corner on the number 1 receiver. If you're not going to give him help, then put the number 1, and that's what he had to do in the second half. And the stats that he produced after Quinyon got on him was a lot different.
Yeah,
a lot different. It wasn't, he was dropping balls and everything with Quinyon on him. So, if you're not going to give him help, then let Q play him. It's simple. To me, it's simple. Let's move on, because we have a big game coming up this week. Again, it's a Super Bowl rematch. Our Philadelphia Eagles are taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, rematch of the past Super Bowl, where we won our second Super Bowl against them in convincing fashion, blowout. And I looked at the Kansas City game against the Chargers on Friday night, the day after we played. And, unfortunately, Worthy went down very early in the game, running into his own teammate, separating his shoulder.
Yeah.
And that was about it, because they were really heavily dependent upon him to play a big role in the passing attack this year. And all of a sudden, he's out. But besides that, I didn't see too much improvement in that team in Friday night. It seemed as though they still suffer from what ailed them against us. They don't have a great running game. I mean, running defense. Their passing was porous. I mean, Herbert ate them up. He ate them up.
Yeah, he threw for like 300 something. I think he threw for 400 yards. I gotta go back and look at it. But yeah, he definitely ate them up, and it was not pretty. You're down your number 1, number 2 wide receiver. Xavier Ward is not going to play. He has dislocated shoulder. If he plays, they'd be dumb. All right, he's 160 pounds, just like Deshaun Jackson. He's fast. That's his trait. He's fast, but he can't lift his arm up. Rashid Rice, he's on suspension for the first 6 games. You have an older Travis Kelce, right? Then you have
he's not the same.
No, he's definitely not the same. Then you got a bunch of backups like Hal Presley. Hollywood Brown is actually a decent receiver. He was a good receiver when he was with Baltimore.
When he catches it,
somehow, some way, when he got to Kansas City, he can't catch the ball. You got Jalen Royals. So that's their receiving core. Like that's that's alarming.
It is. It is alarming. And we'll continue this on the other side because we got about 15 minutes left before we're off and the Thursday night game comes on. So let me just end this quarter. I'm gonna get all 4 quarters in the night.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right. So you're watching Eagles Talk, the #1 Eagles coverage show on Facebook. That's by us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Tonight, I am doing the herbal tea. I don't even know what flavor this is, but it is a tonic of some sort. I'm getting older, man. I just want to stick around a little longer. So, I drink. I'm health conscious now, so I drink these herbal teas as a tonic. Pat is not. He's got years. He's going to be here for years. All right, so he's doing the Woodford Reserve. You guys, let me know what you're doing out there, and we're going to take this final shot of the night for our Philadelphia Eagles. Everybody, down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the fourth quarter.
Each
All
shot
right,
is
so
much better.
going into this matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs, I really do feel confident. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout like we saw in the Super Bowl, because I know that Kansas City is going to be coming out. They're a wounded animal right now. They have been on top of the world for the past 5 years or so. You're starting to see a decline. They started to show some chinks in their armor last season. Even with the impressive regular season record, I still saw chinks in their armor in the manner in which they were winning games.
Correct.
They were winning games very similar to what we were doing when we went 10-1 and then collapsed at the end of the year. They were winning games like that. They were just barely winning the games. They hadn't put up a 30-point game until last year's playoffs. Throughout the whole regular season, they had not put up 30 points in a game. That's kind of unusual for a Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes led team, but that's what's the case last year. So I kind of saw the chinks in the armor before the Super Bowl came. I did not think that they were the juggernaut that they had been the previous 5 years, and we proved that in the results of the Super Bowl. This year, they don't look too much different to me, and they came out and suffered a loss in that first week against the Chargers. Is this the end of that Chiefs dynasty? It just may be, but we need to put them out of their misery. Don't let them have any more life. Don't throw them a lifeline. Just put them out of their misery, and let's go on after that. So I just want us to come out and play up into our potential and put this team out of their misery, because I don't think that they're the dynasty that they once were.
I 100% agree with you. I think this year they literally fall off the cliff. They always say the team that loses to the Super Bowl, the next year they have a hard time. And I think that finally falls onto this Kansas City Chiefs team. Look what they're going against. They're going against not having their #1 receiver in Xavier Worthy, not having their #2 in Rasheen Rice. They're relying on Hollywood Brown. They're going to rely on Juju Smith-Schuster. They're going to rely on Travis Kelsey. They're going to rely on Tyquan Thornton. These guys are not your #1s. These guys are complementary to your #1s. And what they like to do is not run the ball, but pass the ball. Mahomes had 57 yards rushing last week, right? And he did truck somebody. Yo, I lied to you not. If he goes to the sideline, I need somebody to take his freaking head off, because he does it entirely too much, too cavalier about it. But anyway, right? Pat Mahomes is their whole offense, their whole identity on offense. It's not a receiver. It's not a running back. It's Pat Mahomes. And now you got his receivers out, and you think it's going to be an easy game. I don't think it's going to be an easy game at first. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game in the first half. Second half, they're going to fall off a cliff. The adjustments going to be made, and then we're going to dominate in the second half. I wholeheartedly believe that's going to happen, because we're going to be trying new things out. This is our second full preseason game with our starters in the game, so they're still getting their feet under them for football. So I think it's going to be a difficult game for us in the first half, but that's going to change in the second half. But again, back on the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, their defense gave up 3 passing touchdowns, over 300 yards passing by Justin Herbert. At one time, it looked like he was unstoppable against that defense. Now they still do have their defensive coordinator, who is a special teams coordinator with us, who won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants. So he does have a good pedigree of coming after us. He did stop Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl. So he will. I know he's going to dial up some good things against us this year. But I don't see this team coming on top. I believe that our Philadelphia Eagles will be dominant. We will win this game going away.
All right, let me go to some comments. I agree too. Jeremiah, comments on the screen. KC might buy Adoree another week with no one to hold. They might.
You got Juju there. You got Juju and Hollywood Brown. If they make
Juju
him look
is nothing. Hollywood
Yeah.
Brown is. I agree. He was a good wide receiver.
Mhm.
When he catches the ball, he probably can still be, but he doesn't seem to be as dependable as he once was.
He was
Now,
targeted
I know he has it in
60
him, so at any time he probably can, have a
Yeah.
outstanding game if you don't check him.
Steve Spags, yeah, that's what's his name. Steve Spagnolia.
Spagnolia,
No, he
yeah.
had 16 targets last week. He caught the ball when he caught the ball was 10 times for 99 yards in the touchdown, I believe it was.
All right.
No touchdowns. My bad. That's Travis Kelce had a touchdown.
Jeremiah said he got to sit Mahomes this week. Got him on the fantasy league. Yeah, don't play him this week. Okay, so yeah, Steve Spags, he has like 5 Super Bowls, doesn't he?
I think so, yeah.
Because he was with Kansas City when they won all 3 of those, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, it's like 5 Super Bowls. He won 2 with the Giants,
3?
and
I thought they only won 2.
I thought they didn't. They won 2 in a row, and I thought they won one before that.
You might be right. I don't.
Yeah,
Forget that.
So Spags is a good defense coordinator. At one time, I remember wanting him because he was the closest incarnation of Jim Johnson,
yeah.
right? So I at one time I wanted him, and it makes sense that he went with Andy Reid, and they have enjoyed some success. But bunk that. We got to put him away this weekend. No love for him. And the funny thing is that I get to go to the Ron Jaworski Celebrity Golf Tournament kickoff event. I've been going there the last 2, 3 years because of the connection of my neighbor. So anyway, he's always there. He's at the Ron Jaworski. He was there the year we lost to them.
Wow.
And I just was looking at him like real mean, like that's Spags, but I don't like Spags right now. Like, why is he here? Like, you know what I mean? I was, you know how you get starstruck sometimes, but I wasn't starstruck because I was still bitter over the Super Bowl loss. So I was like, why is he here? But he shows up. She still shows up around these parts. But on Sunday, we've got to be careful because Spags is a excellent defensive coordinator.
Yes,
he couldn't solve our offense in the Super Bowl, but he did do a good job in what he set out to do, and that was to minimize Saquon Barkley and not let Saquon beat us. And he was successful in that. He just was not successful in stopping Jalen Hurts. He wanted to force Jalen to beat him, and Jalen did just that. He beat him. So he's going to have to tweak that philosophy, because now you know what Jalen's capable of. And can you really do that? Can you really shut down our entire offense? Because we do have multiple weapons and we can beat you in a multitude of ways. So that's the pressure that we put on most defensive coordinators. And Spags is going to have to face this again just 6, 7, 8, 9 months after he was charged to do it in the Super Bowl. Has he learned anything? We'll find out. I don't think that he has. I'm not going to say I don't think that he's learned anything, but I don't think that he's going to be able to. That's my belief.
Yeah, listen. With some of our players being out, Dallas Goddard not going probably won't play. If you don't know, he has a sprained knee. I don't know what happened. He's always getting injured. You touch him, he's injured. Um, Landon Dixon is back, so he will be playing. But besides that, listen. I, Grant Kankatera, I think he's a very good receiving tight end, and he filled in very well for Dallas Goddard last year when he had to. So he's another weapon in the arsenal for Jalen Hurts. And as long as we have Jalen Hurts, I feel confident. It's like having. I hate to say this, it feels weird saying this. When you had Michael Jordan, you always had a chance, right? When you had Jordan, you always had a chance, regardless if Scottie Pippen didn't play 35 games, 45 games. When Jordan was on the court, it didn't matter, right? It's the same way I feel with Jalen Hurts. Without Dallas Goddard on the field, I think we still have a chance. Without A.J. Brown getting his volume of catches, we still have a chance. Same thing with Smitty. Without him getting his volume of catches, we still have a chance because somehow, some way, with Jalen and Saquon back there, you got to pick your poison, and you got to pick it like they say on Indiana Jones, pick wisely, choose wisely.
And that's great. And and I agree too, and I feel the same way. And it's unfortunate that the national pundits don't. It's not unfortunate. I don't really care
You don't care.
that they don't treat him like that. But we know what a special quarterback we have in our possession, and it doesn't have to look like Lamar Jackson. It doesn't have to look like Josh Allen. It doesn't have to look like Pat Mahomes. All it has to look like is a win, and he does that better than a lot of quarterbacks out there. They may have better skill set, stronger arm, whatever, but they don't win at the clip that he wins at, and he's done it for 5 years. He has 2 Super Bowl appearances and 1 championship under his belt and 1 Super Bowl MVP under his belt. So I'll take that any day over the other skills of the quarterbacks they consider better than him. I'll take the winner. I'll take the winner. I'm okay with that.
He wins 70% of the time. That's the highest winning percentage of active quarterbacks in the NFL. He has a higher winning percentage than Pat Mahomes. Because of last week, he has one more game over Pat Mahomes in winning percentage. All he does is win. How can you not appreciate a quarterback that puts you in the position to win the game? We're not talking about throwing for 400 yards and losing. We're talking about being efficient, throwing for 250 yards or 150 yards and winning the football game. Get it
Yes.
done.
Yes, and I'm with that. I'm all on board with that. And as long as he's healthy, I think we stand a good chance to beat anyone. Not to mention, and I'm not going to take anything away from his supporting cast because he has one of the best supporting casts in all of football. I'm not going to discount that either. One of the best offensive lines in football, one of the best wide receiver tandems in football, the best running back in football, a top 10 tight end in football. So, these are as a result of the wonderful job that Howie Roseman has done in stacking this roster. And he couldn't have picked a better person to lead this offense than Jalen Hurts. And I'm happy he's our quarterback. So we're going to get a chance to see him on Sunday, the return against, and this is starting to be a rival, right? It got to be. We've seen him we've seen him in 2 Super Bowls. We've seen them the last 4 years in a row, I think.
Listen,
and
he
in
lost
one form or another. We've seen him in the Super Bowl. The next year we saw him in the regular season. We beat him. And then last year we saw him in the Super Bowl. This year we see him in the regular season. So it's starting to be something that a team that we see regularly, and it's starting to be a rival. Let me go to Dion.
I want to throw this out there to Dion real quick before you read that comment. Shout out to Dion. I'm going to take his birthday shot for you. But we had 2 additions this week. We had Tank Bixby because Will Shipley may not play for at least 5 weeks with a fractured rib. And we added pass rushing specialist, Darius Smith, onto the fray, and this defense and offense is going to be dynamic. Tank Bixby is a very good backup running back. I'll be honest with you. I'm excited for him.
Well, that's great. I think that we had a great running back room. If you look at it,
Yeah.
I hate that Shipley went down, but that's a great replacement for him. And what's our other running back? I forget his name.
AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon, yeah. AJ Dillon is very formidable and capable of carrying a load also. So it's important to have a running back room such as we do with Saquon coming off the year he had last year. Don't want him to carry that much of a load this year. If any way you can help lighten that load and still be effective on the ground, I say take advantage of that. But it would be nice to see Saquon have a healthy load this week and return to the form, or at least show or flash the form that he showed last year.
Yeah.
I I am. I don't care how we win. It could be AJ getting 200 yards. It could be Devontae getting 150 yards. I don't care. It could be Jalen running for 80. I don't care. I just want the dub. And I got a good feeling that we can get the dub this week. Dion says not only did he play well enough to win both Super Bowls he's played in, you can count on this cat to live right. I love this kid. Yeah, I get that. Tank can also, and that's a key point that he just brought up, Jeremiah. Thanks for doing it, for bringing that up. Tank can also punt return and kickoff return. And our kickoff return is more important this year because of the rule change. You're actually going to see kickoffs being returned. So you have to have a competent kickoff return man, and Tank can also serve in that role as well. So it's been an hour. We're going to wrap it up. I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy.
Dion. Happy birthday, Dion.
Oh, yeah. Let's do a shot for Dion. I don't know if I can handle another shot. I'm only kidding. All right, so on the way out, you guys go enjoy the game tonight because it is a division rival that is playing against Green Bay, the Washington Commanders. So we're all rooting for Green Bay. And might I add that Green Bay looked excellent in that first week. They look like contenders. The defense was
where's my blue button at?
With Parsons looked good. So I hope that they do a great job against our division rivals. We can take all the help that we can get. So as we leave out tonight, we're going to salute Dion and his birthday. Everybody raise your glass and let's do this in honor of our loyal, longtime follower, Dion Jones. Happy birthday to you. We'll see you guys on Saturday, pregame show an hour before kickoff. We're out.
Saturday?
No, it's not Saturday, Sunday. Did I say Saturday?
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
We'll see you guys on Sunday. Sunday, an hour before kickoff. Happy birthday, Dion. 1, 2, 3, down the hatch.